Nakabenta ki Khubor ke baman kasngi subscribe yo Antor News.
Lisbon fi pai bak bopik Khubor Antor News sedang ta hang ni ha office terkam jong ka secretariat ha badang mentasib hang ni CEO electoral officer election jong jalam khlia ula aki jimpan na supaya ba ula long ke jinglang ke bakar pangi ki lat pathai Khubor ban pensau ya ki kendan bat ki an ha ki bedai ban le dam ta kan ni election keban salong hak arfnyo tari bar kumba fitip ba mataksi kai election commission yang kali dia kelap penterkam ya code of conduct ni om syasu ya no ki sen sign pertai lani ki office sarkar ki badang dan hak kabar ki mla su penterkam la khang lut ki ma nongrim ba la khang ru ban penterkam ya ki skim sarkar tang kitu ki bla dap sedang lepa pat ki bla iya sakmat ndai ya ki badang thamai syasu bentri namar ba kala iya ka code of conduct bat ya ki kam bompat trai ka sarkar kebersawan kan sale but hakan ni ka meeting ke jinglang jong UCU bat kilap tai Khubor lapas ngoru ya ki berengkam beri bo pai ba bat ya ki siang political party ya ki kyrtong parkumju ya ki we pak kijun kam ke beri habor ke district nak liang UCU la mana ba keladang ke pentemai ba kejing penbun ya ki polling station ha ke jala ba kandan kum ki model polling station penkam ya ki up saban ajing ujor ya nu ki beri ki balap ni ki siang sampai ne ki kyrtong ki boleh bakala ya pisa but hakan ni ka jinglang bat meeting ba belakot da election commission jong kari India ha jala meklia belakot da Frederick Roy Kartngwar rop manaru ba barak ki kyrtong kila ban pynlut pensap iakhun ni election mentah kadai arfu pralak tengkah lain ata omla ban penkam tam lane duna hisu ka election commission jong kari India kala syaru ya ki tu ki pai ba ki bomla ban thabut ne ban thabut kila ban thab na yeng na boleh online bat kitu ki bar lataman ki ba propose samsenang ru kadon ka bahak kerpang ya ki ban thabut ha bar kalian election commission kan sasumkia harangkat bat ki polling officer jang gitu ki jaka te kini kolong khendia ki jing penna ki ba wanra da ki election commission hak kajala kajengi.
We also have the C Vigil, which was there last time around, which is an app which the citizens can download, and it is a GIS-based technology, and which has a unique feature of this auto location, and it provides correct information which can be relied upon by the flying squad. In case there is some complaint, they can click a photo or a video on the smartphone via this app, and it will provide a timestamp evidentiary proof of the violation of the MCC and also expenditure. So in a sense, it seeks to try to empower the citizen so that the authorities concerned they can take cognizance of the violation. We also have a Know Your Candidate app, which is also there and which also informs the prospective voters about the criminal antecedents, and it also allows the citizens to browse the candidate's background and to know more about their candidates. Then, of course, closer to the counting, there will be a voter turnout app which will be launched, and also for the candidates, of course, we have the Suvidha app and the Garuda app, which is mainly candidate specific, and of course we have this electronically transmitted postal ballot system also, which will transmit postal ballot through electronic means, and also, in terms of EVM and VVPAT, we have sufficient number of EVM and VVPAT at the rate of 150% per constituency, per polling station, and so we and all these and 2 rounds of first level checking have already been done, and we have sufficient stock of in terms of BUs as CUs as well as the VVPAT, and this time around we will be using the M3 variety of EVM VVPAT, and apart from the features that were already there in the previous EVM VVPAT, which means that if there is any attempt to do any manipulation, it will go back to the factory reset mode. Apart from that, the new features that are there in this M3 VVPAT is the feature of mutual authentication amongst all the components. That means if you try to replace one BU with another, control unit which has not been paired previously, it will not work. And also they have automated self-diagnostics. That means that itself, I mean, these EVM machines, they themselves will give a report about it's a vulnerable. I mean, it's a dynamic situation because as of now, the number of critical and vulnerable. In terms of critical, we have about 399. In terms of vulnerable, we have about 747. But it's a dynamic figure. As of now, those are the figures, and they will keep changing. Closer to the polls. What is the total amount? Yeah, can we take one at a time?
You've mentioned about sensitive expenditure constituencies.
Yes.
Why have these been identified as sensitive?
Yeah, so we have 34 ESCs, or expenditure sensitive constituencies. This is where we have some reports that there could be constituencies where there is use of high money power, and so the expenditure observers will also be concentrating on these expenditure sensitive constituencies. So this is across the state, not only in one particular district. So those are the reasons why we have termed them as expenditure sensitive constituencies.
Which are these constituencies?
They are across the state. They are across the state. There are some pockets in Jayanti Hills. There are some pockets in Shillong City. There are some pockets in West Khasi Hills. There are some pockets in the Garo Hills area. So there are different pockets across the state which have been identified as ESCs. Letter of the Election Commission, it says immediately after announcement. In that press note which is shared to you also, I mean on the group I think I have shared the press note, so there it is written very clearly that immediately on announcement.
In the model code, what about the billboards, massive banners?
Yes.
So they are removed.
They will be removed because that comes under defacement. I have just shared with you that three categories. One is totally government, number two is semi-government, number three is private. So what has to be done within 24 hours, what has to be done within 48 hours, what has to be done within 72 hours. So there is a specific protocol.
We will not go in the expenditure because billboards are in the name of a party, in the name of a candidate. They spend money on that. So we will not go like advertisements.
Yeah, so there is a specific protocol. So we have shared it with the deputy commissioners. So they will go by the specific protocol. In terms of expenditure, because MCC kicks in now. If they have started to erect after this, then we booked in the expenditure. But what they have erected was prior to the MCC. Or there is a lot of money going from many accounts into one account, or from many different accounts, money is being from SLBC and from the Reserve Bank, they are also have in their possession what are the different suspicious transactions that need to be flagged. So those are the categories. Calculations that we will try to have a few model polling stations which will use eco-friendly material, as we have done in the last Shela by-elections. So we will be having some model eco-friendly polling stations which will use which will not use single-use plastic and which will use material which is eco-friendly, and we will also ensure that that the first-time voters, they will be recognized with a certificate and some medals as we did last time, and will also be the category of the first 5 early voters, those who come to vote very early. They will also be recognized with a medal. So these are some of the measures that we will take to try to encourage early voters as well as young voters. And by and by, we are also thinking of a few other measures, a few other interesting methods in which we can enthuse and also encourage the voters, and we will let you know from time to time as in when we have a press briefing. So in brief, those are the main highlights of the election preparedness, and now the floor is open for questions. It was today. Actually, it was just a copy mark to us, and the complaint was basically lodged at the office of the district election officer in Jayanti Hills. It was a copy to us. So tomorrow I'll be having a VC with all the deputy commissioners, and this matter will definitely come up.
So since the MCC is already in place now, you mentioned about the official usage of official vehicles. Can you enlighten further on these ministers who may still use the official vehicle?
See, a minister, it is very clear in the guidelines that he can come to office in his official vehicle, but not for purpose of campaigning. So he can come to office in his official vehicle. here it says, as per the guidelines, that in terms of the expression official vehicle means and shall include any vehicle used or capable of being used for purpose of transport, whether by mechanical power. Okay, this is the category, but generally the thumb rule is that while a minister can come to office in his official vehicle, but he cannot use it for purpose of campaigning. So in terms of usage for political means, I mean for political purposes, that will not be allowed under the MCC.
But what about escorts, like security personnel?
Yes,
Can
so
escort them while campaigning.
So Z category, I mean if there are certain individuals who are Z category or they are entitled to certain police protection, so that will continue, but it is not to be misused for political campaign, because some person may have threat perception. There may be some individuals who are under Z category or under various categories, they may have a threat perception. So that separately from the Department of Home, from the police, they have a list of those who can continue to use because of the security and threat perception angle. There is already a mechanism at the district level, which is known as the MCMC team. Media Monitoring Committee team is there, which is headed by the DC. And at the level of the state, we have the state MCMC team, which is headed by additional CO. And at the appellate level, CO is there to hear appeals against the decisions of these committees. So these committees are drawn from members who belong to social media and as well as the other members. So they are the first level which will scrutinize all these kind of violations, possible violations that you have just mentioned. Top priority for the election commission, as you just heard from the press conference of the Honorable Election Commission also, they have mentioned that the era of violence is now over. Now we have to ensure a violence-free and repoll-free elections. So Meghalaya, by and large, in the past also has been largely peaceful, at least in respect of elections. And now, for the first time, 40 companies have come in advance. In the previous years, these companies used to be deployed only close to the poll day. But now 40 companies have already been deployed much prior to the poll day also. So the purpose of having these CAPF forces much prior to the poll day is also to instill confidence, and also the vulnerability marking and the critical marking has already been done, and all steps will be taken to safeguard and to instill confidence in the hearts and minds of the voters.